What is up, everyone? Today we're taking a look at the Red Hood DLC within Batman Arkham Knight. So this was a pre-order incentive from GameStop exclusively, but you also gained access to this pack if you bought the season pass. Now I would say Red Hood is a very fun character to play as. He does come with his own arsenal, and you get an opportunity to play as Red Hood within 2 combat maps and 1 predator map. Now, those 3 maps combined are put together in a very short campaign type of story. Now, unfortunately, as we know, there are currently no challenge maps within Arkham Knight. We do have the AR challenges, but they're very limited and restricted to Batman only. So what we do know is that challenge maps will eventually be making their way into Arkham Knight. If you guys remember, when I read off the details for the season pass, it is said specifically that there will be challenge maps added in the near future with the season pass being owned. So I'm assuming that in the near future, when those challenge maps come out, is when we'll be able to select Red Hood once again and play as him on all of those new maps. But for right now, you can only play as Red Hood in his exclusive, very short story mode. So I would say the only problem with this DLC is how short it is. It's literally only around 12 minutes. That's literally around the time that I was able to beat this mini story, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Red Hood is a badass character. He comes loaded with his dual wield pistols, and within this mini story, you're actually going after the Black Mask. Now, there are going to be a few spoilers within this video that I'm going to be talking about, so if you don't want to hear them, click away from this video now. But as we know, within the main story of Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight himself is revealed to be Jason Todd. So this mini story takes place after the events of Arkham Knight, when he becomes the Red Hood. Now, we know this takes place after those events from the main story because when you actually face the Arkham Knight and you break his main helmet, you're able to see his actual Red Hood underneath. So what we could assume is that after the Arkham Knight's identity was pretty much destroyed after the events of the main game, he then becomes this ruthless vigilante who actually uses brute force, unlike Batman. So it's pretty cool to see the Red Hood transformation here. What Rocksteady did with this game was honestly pretty unique. They took a classic comic book story with Jason Todd and they kind of transformed it in a pretty interesting way. So they had Jason Todd as one of the Robins, then they transitioned him to the Arkham Knight, and then after all of those events, they transitioned him to the Red Hood. So I think it was a pretty good storyline overall. You know, I really like playing as Red Hood. You know, even with the Predator mission, even though it's very short, it's still pretty fun doing silent takedowns, taking out those pistols. And I'm really looking forward to playing as him even more when those challenge maps do release in upcoming DLC. Now, I can make a whole separate video talking about my overall thoughts about Arkham Knight, and I'll probably end up doing that in the next couple days. I still want to upload a lot of gameplay for the Harley Quinn DLC, the Scarecrow Nightmare missions, as well as some of the main side quests within the game as well. I also will be live streaming New Game Plus here for Arkham Knight. I'll be streaming that here on YouTube in the next few days, and it'll probably be split into 2 or 3 parts because the main story is pretty damn long. I ended up pulling an all-nighter, and I believe I started playing the main story at around 12:50 a.m. and I didn't finish till around 1:45 p.m. the next day. So yeah, it's around a 12 to 14 hour main story, so I'll end up splitting up that live stream of New Game Plus into around 2 or 3 parts, but those are my plans at the moment for my Arkham Knight coverage. But I'm very happy to be uploading some Red Hood gameplay here today. I thought, why not start off my Arkham Knight coverage with Red Hood? Again, he's a pretty badass character to play as, and I really don't mind playing this story mode over and over again, just having endless fun playing as Red Hood. You know, I'm pretty disappointed that challenge maps weren't added in at the start. I don't know if that was Rocksteady's way of testing whether or not fans really wanted challenge maps, or if that was just an experiment. I don't know, but we do know they are going to be returning in future DLC, so you will see a lot of Red Hood gameplay here on my channel. Now, although the story is pretty short, I think it was pretty cool to see the return of Black Mask. You know, he was a pretty big character within Arkham Origins, even though it wasn't the Black Mask behind all of those events, it was the Joker, but Black Mask still played a pretty big part in that game. We saw a little return from Black Mask within Arkham City when you actually played as Robin, and now we're seeing him again when you play as Red Hood. So I think it's cool they implemented Black Mask, you know, in this mini story here. We obviously know that at the end of Arkham Knight, Batman will initiate the Nightfall Protocol. So in doing that, we have a bunch of other heroes and ruthless vigilantes like Red Hood that are now taking over the mantle of Gotham, I would say. You know, we have Red Hood here being as ruthless as possible and literally killing all of his enemies just to get his intel and just to figure out where Black Mask is. So as we can see with the last villain here, he's going to interrogate him and figure out where the Black Mask is actually hiding. So we know that Red Hood obviously isn't Batman, and we know that Red Hood is a ruthless vigilante who doesn't mind killing. So we obviously know that based on Jason Todd's comic book story that we all know, Jason Todd being Robin, you know, he always wanted to kind of break the vigilante rule that Batman has, which is not to kill. And we know that once Jason Todd attempted that as Robin, he tried to kill the Joker, but unfortunately that plan got reversed and he pretty much got himself killed. But Rocksteady twisted up that story in a way and made it so that Jason Todd actually survived, but in a way he kind of got brainwashed by the Joker. So with that, he became the Arkham Knight, and now, after the events of the main story, he became the Red Hood. Now, in my opinion, the Red Hood is pretty much the Robin that Jason Todd always wanted to be. But now that there's no Batman to dictate his every move, he's free to do as he wants. I also wanted to talk about all of those comments out there that claim the Red Hood DLC shouldn't have been a pre-order incentive and should have been a part of the game at launch. My response to that is, unless you like replaying this 12-minute little story, then you're really not missing out on very much. I would say that the Red Hood character himself is very fun to play as, but until we see those DLC challenge maps, that's when the Red Hood will have more of a replayability, and that's when you really give this character more of a purpose, because really, you're not missing out on a big part of the story, you're not missing out on a major part of the game by not pre-ordering it. So if anything, I would just buy the season pass in the next few weeks, and once we see those DLC challenge maps release is when you'll really have a lot of fun with this character, because right now with this little 12-minute story, you're only getting pretty much 2 combat maps and 1 predator map, and you can only play them if you actually go into the entire 12-minute story. So I can understand if this Red Hood DLC was half an hour long or maybe an hour and a half long and it was a big part of the story. That's when I would understand the complaints that this is pretty much a part of the game and it should have been in the game at launch and not pre-order DLC. But really, it's a very quick 12-minute add-on, and until we see those bonus actual challenge maps release and when we can actually play as Red Hood on those maps is when you're going to really see the purpose behind this character, and that's when you actually see some replayability with the Red Hood overall. So that's just my opinion with the Red Hood DLC. Definitely let me know in the comments section, what do you think about Red Hood? I would honestly say that he's one of the best characters you can play as so far in the Arkham series, but I'm looking forward to those challenge maps when we can really let this character shine and actually give him some replayability. But this is really quickly the Black Mask boss fight here. What you have to do is just shoot him. That's literally all you have to do. You can dodge his bullets and shoot him with the pistols, or you can go up to him yourself, give him a little beatdown, and then shoot him. I thought it was pretty funny that even if you shoot him a few times, he still won't die. He apparently has a bulletproof vest, I would assume, so you're gonna have to put in a bunch of rounds into this guy. But thanks for watching, everyone. Enjoy the last minute and a half here of this Red Hood boss fight. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned in for some Harley Quinn DLC gameplay coming up later today. And peace out, YouTube.
Black Mask. You should have left when you had a chance. You don't need to do this. You can get money. Drugs, guns, weapons, whatever you want. Please, I'll take a plane, leave Gotham, never show my face again. Anywhere you want, I'll go anywhere.
How about you go to hell? Say out a Joker for me.